Well, hey guys, I'm here under my son's house working on his water heater. The complaint was the water got scalding hot, and then a couple hours later he had no hot water at all. I suspected a stuck thermostat, but I'm going to go through the motions of troubleshooting here and tell you what I found. First thing you want to do is be sure the power was off. But when I came down here first, I found that the reset button here had tripped, and when I reset the button, I put my amp probe on this heater here, heater element, and saw that it was drawing 15 amps, and I knew that heater was working. So then I waited for the thermostat to satisfy, and it cut off this element. And the way these things work is the top element heats, and when it satisfies, the bottom element turns on. So I made sure the top element satisfied at about 120 degrees, and then it switched to the bottom element, and I put my amp probe on this lead here, and it also was drawing about 15 amps, so I knew that element was good. And I waited for this thermostat to satisfy, and I waited and waited and waited, and it never satisfied. So I turned the temperature adjustment back and forth, and I heard it click a couple times, but it never stopped drawing current. So I took my screwdriver and tapped on it like that, and sure enough it dropped out. So I knew that thermostat was sticking, so it definitely needed replacement, and that's what I anticipated when I came down here, was the thermostat would one of those was stuck. So I went to the local big box store, and I bought an upper and a lower thermostat. I'm going to replace them both since they're both the same age, and I'm going to go through the motions with that. First, I want to show you that power is off. 220 comes in on the black and red wires, so I'm going to measure that, and you can see that's 67 millivolts, which is just leakage. It's nothing to worry about. Fortunately, the builder of the home, or the homeowner, put a disconnect right next to the water heater, which I pulled out and opened that up so I don't have to run back and forth to the panel box. So I'm going to go through the motions of replacing these guys here. I'll unwire them, and they basically just snap against the tank, and that's how they measure the temperature. So I'm not going to bore you with the unscrewing of the wires and putting those on, but I'll be back once I get it all in, and I'll show you what I've done. Alright guys, I'm back. I replaced the upper thermostat in overload, and I replaced the bottom thermostat in overload. As you can see here, they just lay against the tank, and these little clips are held in, pressed in by those little tabs, and that holds it tight against the tank. Same thing with the upper one, and that's how it measures the temperature. So now I've got the breaker back on. I've got my 230 volts back, and I have my amp probe here on the upper element. As you can see, it's drawing no current, so I'm going to turn the temperature up and make it come on. You heard a little click, and it of course came up, and it's drawing right at about 12-13 amps. So when that one is on, the bottom one will be off. So I'm going to reduce the temperature on this one until it cuts off. You heard the click, and the current went to 0. Now the current down here on the bottom element, it's also drawing about 12 to 15 amps, and I'm going to turn its temperature up until it satisfies. And as you can see, you heard it click, and the amp probe went to 0. See that? So I know they're both working. I'm going to set them both around 120 to 125. You don't want to go any higher than that for dangerous scalding. And that's really all it is. It's about a 15-minute job to replace them once you get the parts. I think the top one was about 15 bucks and this bottom one was about 10 bucks. So not too bad of a repair. I'm sure they'll get another couple years out of this water heater. So thanks for watching, guys. Bye.